Hi guys, so today I want to show you how you can do this Maelstrom black hole-ish effect that I did a few weeks ago. I thought it would be cool to show you how I did that. But before we start, a few words from our sponsor. And the sponsor is this half of an apple. And you might be wondering why only half? Well, first of all, I had the first half with my breakfast. But second of all, this video is like this apple, it's like unfinished. So the first half is today, it's mostly about simulation. And the second half will be next week about rendering. Okay, so let's get started. So I will start with the curve and I will draw a curve that's about 25 meters in diameter and 10 meters in depth. Then do a resample to add some points. Change to subdivision curves, and this is way too many points. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And do revolve. Then reverse the normals and extrude volume. So this will be our collision. And as for the sourcing, I can use a tube. That big, let's say 2 meters high. Yeah, and extrude as well to add some thickness. Change to polygon, also add some detail to maybe -2. Awesome, so this will be our source, this is our collision. I also want to use VDB convert to polygons from polygons. I want to use VDB for the collision. I'll just rename that VDB call for collision. And while selecting this guy, I'll go up one level and do emit particle fluid. Again. Okay, it asked me to pick an object, so picking an object, enter, and there it is. First of all, there's way too many particles. Also, we need this collision. And this collision will be plugged right here in proxy volume, right? Surface, no, VDB call, yeah. And change it to maybe 180. Okay, awesome. Also, I don't want this shell thickness at all. So now, if I press play, the fluid will go both ways, so we have to limit that. So this guy, I can copy that and just extrude it the other way, and also transform, scale it. Whoa, oh, I think I have still snapping enabled. So if we merge these two together, okay, yeah, awesome. So we don't have any spin, of course, right? Because we didn't create any. And instead adding a false here, I will go back and I will try to reuse that curve right here to create a vector field, and then I will just advect the particles, because why not? So I can do copy to points, actually copy and transfer, not copy to points, and copy that exactly this many times. So paste relative references and rotate it by 360 divided by the same thing. So we have something like that. And then I can do another resample, and in this resample I only want this tangent U attribute, and I would just call it flow instead. So if we enable this attribute, change it to marker, vector, change the color, because I really dislike the default yellow color. Why the yellow color? It's so cheap. And drop an add, yeah, to just remove the geometry, keep the point so we can see these vectors. Yeah, awesome. So they're all pointing towards this black hole. I need some kind of spin, so I can do vector flow will be the cross product of self, so vector flow, and the vector up. Awesome. That's great. So now to create that field, I can do extrude, poly extrude, like this, output back as well, and maybe subdivide just to add some more points, and VDB from polygons again. Whoops. VDB from polygons. Actually, what am I doing? VDB from polygons. Yeah, and attribute transfer as well. So we can get that flow thing. So here I will add the surface attribute to that flow, change it to displacement velocity and call it vel, and I will name that to advect. Great. So jumping in back here, drop the advect, pop advect by volumes. Whoops. Pick that node and press play. So this is what we have, and it's kind of spinning a little bit. I don't think this is enough. Yeah, 5 is way better, although I don't want to start the spinning from here, so I need to have some kind of gradient. This guy, right? Multiply but some ramp. So I will do float range is fit the length of the position, and I want just to use X and Z position. In Y I want to have 0, so this will be a vector Px 0 and Pz, and this I know is between 0 and 25, and I will need to fit it between 0 and 1 if I want to have it in my ramp, right? And then in the end I will multiply that flow, with channel ramp, and just call it spin using that range. So now can change it to something like this. Yeah, Okay, so this is what you have, and it's way better. Although now I don't like that it takes 240 frames for the fluid to actually stabilize, so definitely need to fix that. So I can reuse this guy, or maybe just copy it, because I'm not sure how thick it should be. And yeah, for now leave it as it is. I will do actions, create a reference copy. Also actually copy this guy as well, rename it to something, single frame, and right over here I'll go to manual mode, copy the source, plug that in, and make sure that this is only activated on the first frame. Go back to outer, and let's see what we have. Okay, first of all, I see we have a problem because this is too big. If we do boolean that guy with our source, and I want to have BBC, or maybe intersect. Yeah, it's way too big. So maybe do this instead. Make it like -5. Oh, this is the other way. So it's actually like 5. Then transform. So this should be subtract a minus b, a minus b. Yeah, okay, going back again. Awesome. So now it only takes about 60-70 frames for the fluid to stabilize. Also need to limit the flip. I don't want it to, for the volume, limit it be that huge. Great. We also need to add some detail because there is not enough detail, and to do that, first of all, I will try to add some detail on the collision because it's flipped. So if you add some detail to the collision, the flip will create some detail as well. So I will drop a paint attribute. I will paint attribute called density. Somewhere right here. And smooth it a little bit maybe. Now I can drop a scatter, use that density, lower the redux duration, maybe 1, and less points, drop a sphere, make it polygon, copy, actually we don't need this guy. Oh, yeah. Okay, and also maybe a mountain to add more detail and probably more frequency. Yeah, this will definitely create some detail for sure. Maybe scale it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm good with that. I'm happy. Let's see what we have. Okay, so I adjusted the particle separation a little bit and the collision, and this is what I have. So it's way better. Definitely there's something going on, but still not enough. So it would be great to add some noise actually right over here. So what if I will do remesh this guy to add some, oh yeah, for sure. I can do add to remove geometry, just keep the points, change the point size so you can see the vectors way better, and then do the VOP, point VOP to add some noise. For the noise I always use VOPs because it's just faster. Get that attribute that we had, it was flow, it's a vector, and by the export flow vector, and we will just add whatever this is producing, a 3D noise. Whoa, I need to add. Yeah, change the amplitude to something rather big, frequency, and now bypass that guy so we can poly extrude so it has some actual thickness. Okay, so I also adjust particle separation a little bit, and you can see already there's it looks cooler now, right? Yeah. So one last thing that you can add is actually right over here and type vortex, and you have gas vortex confinement, and make it like 10 to compare. And I will do view layout 2 rows, and again view layout hide blank viewports, and when this guy is selected, press this guy and do another play blast, and this way you can see you can compare to play blast on the same and play. So as you can see, this is way more turbulent, and this is awesome, except that it's turbulent everywhere. So maybe just stop it, close, and right over here when we create this range, you can say that I create an attribute range, copy that, and here you can bind it, and plug it into the amplitude, and I think we have to reverse that. So there is struct constant complement, yeah, so it's 1 minus basically. So this way now we have some noise here and almost no noise right over here. and this is way too much, so I'll just do 3 and see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what I ended up with. I adjusted the particle separation. I also had to bypass that add node because then I had no thickness. And also I multiplied the magnitude for the noise like 3 or 4 times. But this is literally it. So that's pretty awesome. And the last thing you could do is when you're saving your cache, when you want to get rid of that nasty thing around, you just can group that. And this is what I did actually in that example that I showed you in the beginning. You can literally group take a tube, change it to points made by object, and just adjust it. Right? And you have to make it end caps and probably to polygon and add more columns. And just blast it. Keep the thing. So that's it for this video, because it was mostly about simulation. And the second part next week will be more about rendering. So see you guys next week.